like?
I'm going to go through it with you. You're not expected to know. So the kind of plan for today is as follows. Well, we're basically the overall kind of chat is skill versus will, so how can we enhance both and push forward with everything. Rich is going to be covering all that later on. What he wanted to do was, I don't know if you remember these. Can you remember doing these?
Grateful's. That's mine, yeah.
It is yours. It's kind of like looking through
like
this,
4 years
seeing
ago?
2.
2 years ago, sorry. Back in the old office.
It was. So he wanted us to look through that and look at what your goals were back then and your skill and your will to kind of get to where you like to what you achieved. So I thought it was quite nice. This is something we did as an activity, in the old office, and we were basically told to write down loads of different things and draw.
Yeah.
Quite fun.
Yeah.
And the stuff that I'm going to show you now is all about kind of your edge and the 32 hours training, so how we're going to be using that. Now you as a representative, this is good to have you here because you can like give feedback and you can also see how we're doing things. So I'll start with the your edge stuff first, just to kind of give you an update. It's going to be awkward. Do you want to come sit here? Yeah, that's better, isn't it? So basically, it's kind of the way I see the Your Edge training kind of platform working, the whole point of it, and the goals for everyone, is that we want to educate to improve people's appreciation of the brand and the understanding of air sound. Like that is the goal, is to educate people. To cover all the courses that will lead a rep or a visitor to succeed with the brand and learn about all areas of the business. So the videos that you're going to be doing with us are to basically open the door to the public, well, to the people we work with, to really get them involved with us as a business.
Yeah.
So Joel's going to be doing some videos today. You've already heard about what we're doing. We're kind of showing people the office, showing people the people within our business, because currently the training courses, they're lacking personality, they're lacking us. They don't. Yeah, like anyone could do what's on there at the moment, but what we haven't done is made it about us as a business. So going forward, we're going to change how things are done a little bit, make it more fun, make it more animated. But again, the whole goal is that people do understand as much about the business as we can show them. A lot of people to purchase the products and experience air sound in the home for a great price. So how do we push the 50% off code? What can we do to improve the rate of people getting that code and actually using it? So currently we've had 111 people got to course 6 plus another 63. So that's like 170 people have gone above course 6. Every single one of them has the ability to have had that code, and only 54 codes have been requested.
The only thing is that code isn't really visible.
No, so this is what we're working on.
Changing.
We're working on how we make it stand out. Like that's something we're discussing next week. I just need to remember to actually talk to Steve about it.
Because all you get is just this download.
It's tiny, isn't it? Yeah, I screenshotted it because I nearly missed it when I got it, and I actually did want the code. So 54 codes have been sent. So we want to find out how we can like affect people more. So if only 1 in 4 people are requesting a code, of that only 1 in 4 people buy. So 16 people have purchased with the code. We want everyone to own an Orbit sound. I mean, it's not going to happen. But I think we should definitely aim a lot higher, because currently 5% of people active on our training website own a product or have bought one since joining, which is great, but we want to improve that to like 50%.
What if you did like almost like percentages staggered as you move through the courses? So like it would be the first three it's like 10% off, second, when you get to 6 it's like 25, and then when you finish
that's a really good idea. Yeah, we're able to do anything really. The benefit of us having control over this is, to an extent, we can suggest anything. That's a really good idea though. I think that's really cool. and you can maybe earn
exactly,
different. The next part is having a forum to freely ask questions, and this is something we haven't used enough. Like, we definitely need to use this more, because currently that forum on the website hasn't been used like at all. So I'm speaking to Steve next week about the forum to find out what we can do to get more conversations going, so that like when a rep has a question from a customer, we can put it on there. They can even answer it themselves. So like, for example, you over the weekend will have had somebody object to something where you've overcome it. Well, rather than just keeping it to yourself, let's use the forum, show people how we do it. We've got the ability to impact a lot of people. I want to make it more viewable. The next part is tracking people's progress, which is a huge part of this, is actually finding out what people are doing and shouting about it. Like, if people aren't doing that great, making sure we're getting in contact with them. This is something that I need everyone to really help with. So reps in store, every month I tell the reps what their store has done. I will tell you who is on what, I will find out who has left the business, we can update so we keep it all current.
Is there any way of reps looking at that whenever they want to, or is that not
That's
possible?
just all you have to do though. If you send me a message as a rep and say, oh, Lena, would love to know, I can get you that information instantly, like we're talking within 5 minutes. So the thing is, no one asks me. In the last 2 months, not a single person has asked me a question about who they've got signed up. They've not asked me who's on what, they've not asked me to delete anybody. It's purely been me going out and asking reps. So, it's taking pride in people getting trained in store.
So why don't we change the timesheets to say at the bottom how many people have you trained to finish the modules, but name the names?
I think it's more that because obviously we can see that information, it would be good to get something on the timesheets about the progress of what conversations have been had, who have you maybe who have you prompted about the training this week, and get names, because
maybe
we
just
can
like a little
easily
training
check
summary or
that.
something like that, just where you can write like who you trained.
Because that's what you were saying, weren't you?
I think you need like a little almost summary of the
a
whole
summary of the
weekend,
day. Yeah, that's what you need.
How do you feel as a rep in store? How do you feel in terms of confidence training somebody?
It's good, because I think the training courses lay out pretty much, as long as you can
Do you find that quite easy to do
as long
with
as
the
you
training
as long as you
class?
can go on there, it gives them, obviously it builds up quite easily. But it's like what Jig was saying, like the timesheet, it's almost like no way on that timesheet to kind of explain the day in any way. It's all just number. There's no way to.
Morning.
Very well.
I'll have to cut this part out when pop over there. I've not bothered to put it on the TV screen because my laptop doesn't do it, so it's an absolute effort. Hey, guess what I bought you? I bought you some bagels, mate.
Oh, you start?
Yeah.
Oh, thank
love
you.
bagels.
Me and
So-
Forrest,
You love your bagels.
I do.
Love
I love those bagels.
we took a 50-minute walk to get them bloody
Oh,
bagels.
no. Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Sorry about that. There was nothing stopping at Alston.
No, it's sewage problems, but we're going to have
Sewage,
to
right.
talk about that afterwards because we need to move on.
Okay.
Right, just a quick recap of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, sure.
Don't worry, you don't need to see this,
Right.
I'll talk about it anyway. So we've been saying about what the Yored training platform is to educate people, to help succeed with them understanding all areas of the business, allowing people to purchase at a discounted price, which we're going to try and prompt some new ideas.
Yeah.
Using the forum more successfully, so we haven't done that very well, so we're going to try and progress that over the next 6 months. Tracking people's progress, which again we've got ideas on how we can get reps to change how they do that at the moment. And then the last thing is posting new content. So what you don't know is currently we haven't posted new content for a while. Now, you heard me back in August say I've spent a week, I've got 3 courses completely written out. Since then, I've watched people complete the A-series course and thought, actually, it's too boring. I need to make it way more fun. To do that, it's taken quite a lot of rewriting, and now we're going to get Joel involved to make it more animated.
Yeah.
So yeah, the new content is well and truly in the making, but we've got a lot getting there rather than one thing getting there, because we're going to try, at the moment I'm trying to completely redo everything and restructure it so that we can use Joel's skills and put forward something that you guys can say to someone, there you go, it's a 1-minute video and it summarises the whole thing, rather than read for 10 minutes, answer loads of questions. We're going to try and make it a lot more suitable, shall we say.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
So I wanted to make sure you were informed with kind of where we're going with that.
Yeah,
Now, the emails that we're sending out at the moment, so yesterday I must have sent about 70 emails out to people who were users with that on our website.
yeah,
Craig's branch is no more, after Monday, will no longer be in existence. So not so much an issue for you, but for me, I had loads and loads of people that were part of Craig's branch that we had to individually change.
okay.
The emails that get sent at the moment, so if someone has no courses completed, going forward, if they have had no courses completed and have been have been signed up for over a month,
Mm-hmm.
they will get an email saying, "Good morning, da da da, thank you for signing up, da 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 da. Here's the login page details, and follow the link if you've got any questions, let me know. By the way, when you get to course 6, you get a discount code."
Yeah.
So it's prompting the discount, it's saying it's quite easy, take 5 minutes. So the first email is quite a simple one, 5 minutes here and there, great. When they've been inactive for a full month, they get a different type of email, kind of don't forget we're here sort of thing. Completed 6 courses but no request. Oh, we saw you didn't actually request one. Did you know you could get a discount code? If you want to and you want a family or friend member to use it, let me know, we'll get one sorted for you.
But also we need to mention that there's an expiry date.
We do,
saying
that gets mentioned.
Okay, that you've got 28 days.
Yeah, but to be perfectly honest, what I normally do is after they've had it for 28 days and they haven't used it, I email again saying, just so you know, I've extended it for a further 2 weeks or a further 28 days just because I know you haven't used it yet. Don't want you to miss out. And I'm trying to push it in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't seem to have worked, but it's better than nothing. Code requested, so they get an email when they request the code, explaining all the 28 day, etc. And then they get another one when they purchase. After about a month, I tend to send an email. Now, they also get a request from FIFO, which is our reviewing company. That gets sent after the 3rd week of them purchasing, they'll get sent an email requesting a review. So this email is just going to push them towards actually giving that review because it's getting a bit more personal. Obviously, at that point, they will have had a bit of contact with me. So they're the emails that people are getting sent. The current people who've purchased are all on here. Now we have 16 people who've purchased. We've got 170, 180 that have passed course 6. So 16 out of 160, it's not awful. 10% of people that have passed, bought it,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, but we could definitely do with increasing that. And then just some quick stats. So in the last 30 days, we've had 79 users, which is awful. I know that of that, 7 members of staff have been on, which is really bad. We really need to be getting people. Our own guys should be on there every month recapping. We've had 54 codes sent, and you can see the breakdown as well of the courses. So massive stop at course 6. So there's clearly some work needs to be done here. Anyone that's on course 6, really, we need to be pushing them to course 9.
Why don't you extend it? So when you get to 6 units, like Charles said, 25%.
Yeah, I don't think it should be 50. It's
When
like
you complete to 9, that's when you get 50% off.
Mhm.
Well, remember, because we're restructuring everything, we have to restructure it carefully. The issue is we've got people that are already doing this now, so we need to find a way of motivating them now. But then in 2 months' time, when we've got like 12 different courses on there, they're all different to how they are now. It needs to make sure that the people who've already done the courses don't lose out, because all their data is going to get erased. So it's going to be quite tricky because they're going to have been shown trying to figure that out. So then the next part that we're going to go through, that's all the OREG actually. Do you have any questions? Any comments? Any feedback? No? Okay. That makes my life easy. The next thing is the tracking someone's 32 hours. Now, I'm not expecting you to do it exactly the same way as I have done, but Rich wanted me to create a process that meant no one goes wrong with it and that no one misses out any of the stuff that we've put in place. You can talk to them about it however you want, really not that bothered. But effectively, what we're going to be doing for each rep is, this is the index. Now, eventually, this is going to go onto your edge and it will be done. You know how you've got your course? You'll be able to just tick when you've watched the video. There'll be a question after each video. But for now, we don't have that luxury. So for now, we're going to have to do it this way. You'll have seen that I've posted the last, I've done a few advanced sales calls using the content we've got, because I'm slowly working my way through posting each and every video that I think is of use to other people. Now, there is some stuff that's really old that we could do with Joel kind of editing, but that's a long, long way away. For now, I'm going through each of these videos, creating questions for them, so that when you have a new rep, like you've got a new rep now that should be using this. What's his name?
Sam.
Sam. Yeah. Which store's he in?
Crepes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, joined.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is make sure that you have all of this. So it's this column here really. These 3 columns. I'll post them to a Google Drive separately, not this one because this has got loads more information on it. And all you do is send that link to that person. Where you see the yellow, that's when it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Red is an email, and it'll say who's meant to be doing this. So you'll see competitions email from Forest, a call about the timesheets with the manager. There's other things to add on here, but effectively it's making sure that every single person gets it in the right order. Now, as their manager, all you have to do is follow this checklist.
Yeah.
And it makes your life so much easier. The whole point of this is so that we don't miss anything, because it's really, really clear that we've got all this great stuff. We all agree that the cycle of selling is pretty simple. You know, we all follow it in our own way, admittedly. We don't do it word for word, but we should make sure we stick into that process. And we've got all these incredible videos that have been made over the year that we want to use.
And they'll be paid for, excuse me.
It's alright?
So, and they'll be paid for doing that?
No.
This is 30. I thought this 39 hours was paid for.
Oh, the 32 hours training.
32,
Yeah. So when they've watched a video,
Yeah.
I know exactly how long they spend on this, because it is that easy for us to track.
Yeah.
When they watch this video, they've spent 3 minutes 34 seconds watching it.
Yeah.
They can then, we'll add a little extra on for the sake of the time and the questions, but what should happen is that will count as a 10-minute time slot, even though it only takes 5 minutes to watch the video and answer the questions.
Yeah.
The idea is that we give them time to repeat that learning.
And they
Right.
can do that in their own time. Obviously,
This,
the
yeah,
cooking
this
that-
absolutely
yeah.
can be done, but we want to follow a strict, kind of fairly strict schedule where we say, right, this guy's joined on, what day did he come into the business?
Wednesday.
Right, last Wednesday. He should have watched all of these videos up to a certain point before he goes into store.
Okay.
That is so we haven't done that again, but this
We
is
tried, didn't we? Send them
The
to
thing is,
him.
there clear communication from what needs to be done, like you said.
That's why we're having this meeting. That's exactly why we're talking about it
What goes on
now.
before is irrelevant what happens now.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying going forward, when you
Yeah.
recruit someone, and they have to watch these videos to a certain stage at the very minimum. They have to have these emails, you have to have ticked them off. Because remember, you get the forward, you get copied in to every email to your rep from these guys. You know your job's pretty simple. You send them the welcome email, introduce Emma, introduce Boris, and then they take it from there to do HR.
Yeah.
Emma will copy you in. She will also be able to access this document and tell you when she sent that email if we prefer that to be the easier way. But the welcome email, the people HR one, stats, the Better Way Clerk, the setup, so this is just talking about the set of Slack, and the calls, Ted Fletcher Club video, which currently isn't finished but will be. All this stuff up to the intro modules on the training website, that all takes an hour.
Yeah.
We'll give them more than that to do it, but it takes an hour. That is the bare minimum that we're going to set for somebody before they step foot into a store. However, they have to have completed these training courses. If they haven't completed these training courses, they're going to not know enough about the business. Now, the second minimum, the one that I would prefer to be the bare minimum, but we're not going to make it the bare minimum for now, is the end of the cycle of selling. Now, what that means is that they've watched every single part of the cycle of selling.
So Lena, in terms of the training module, what's more important? Doing the actual your age training or introduction?
Both. There has to be a combination of both.
Or
The training courses online, are not for a brand new rep. The training courses online are for people who have worked in the industry but are learning about us, or they're for reps to develop their knowledge. That is not a way to introduce someone to the business start to finish, because we haven't put it on there
So
yet.
if you were going to put this in our hierarchy, so would you say the most important would be for them to do that?
Most important is to bring them into the business the right way, which is introducing them to the team, it's getting them to understand stats. They should all know what the Better Way Club is, they should all know who is in charge of pay, they should all know who the MD is. Realistically, they shouldn't, if they don't know that stuff, they probably think they're working for John Lewis. And they don't, they work for us. We want them to know that they work for us. They should be proud of working for Orbit Sound. And the whole point of having this strategy in place to this process is that no one, after their first month in the business, walks away not knowing this information. And they can rewatch it as many times as they want to. The whole development of the quiz, questions, tests, whatever you want to call it, is that we find out what they do or don't take from them videos. I know if I ask your rep, newest rep, who's head of HR, they might turn around and tell me and say, Emma, we've got an email from her, so that's good. But if I then say, do you know how you submit a holiday request? Chances are, if they've not watched this video, no, they don't, because Emma's done this video, so she doesn't have to do that with each individual. The whole point of all these videos is that we've saved time in the long run, but we have to put it into place where we use them. It's not acceptable for someone to be in a business that doesn't understand what to do when they're sick. Like, I had a rep that was ill, didn't inform me, didn't even message me, because he just assumed I'd know. Like, that's somebody who hasn't been sharing that video. And it doesn't take long. Like, we're paying these guys to do this. We're for once, we're happy to do that if they're going to watch them. Mm-hmm. The only time they will not get paid for it is if they don't answer the questions correctly. So they have to answer. And until they get it right, we won't accept that they've done that. Now, the way we're going to have this for you guys to kind of keep hold of is there's going to be one Google Drive which you can copy and send to somebody, or you can make sure that every time they complete one video, you can ask them the questions yourself. So you can make it as personalised as you want. Now, for example, Joel, if you were my rep and I've just started you, I've said, right, here's your welcome email. First video there, when you've completed that, let me know. I'm going to ask you some questions, just test your knowledge. The benefit of doing it this way is that when he's finished watching that video after 5 minutes, he messages, I'll give him a call, right, 3 questions for you. Can you remember this? Can you remember that? What's this called? What does this mean? I'm testing you. I know your status, I know where you are, I know what you've understood, but I can also help you if you haven't. It also builds that bond, because we are coaching people from a distance, and I can't have this conversation in person, so I wouldn't be actually looking at you, but it would be on the phone, and that's quite an easy way of doing that. And then once I'm happy you've passed that, I say, right, here's your next video. I'm also tracking how much time's been spent. So this Google Drive is going to be developed for you to be able to track each rep, track their answers. So all you need to do is go on whilst you're on the phone to them, say, oh, what's the answer to this? Da-da, yeah, da-da, yeah. And away you go, really. So it's meant to be really easy, and you can change the questions. Like, if you aren't happy with them questions, as long as you watch the video and you really know what that video is about, and you're not telling them their answers wrong when it's correct, then yeah, sure. It's just that I'm going to make sure the questions are written so that you don't have to watch the video again and again and again, and you don't have to create questions again and again and again. So I'm more than happy for other people to get involved with that, because I've not finished that. That is the last thing I need to do. Okay. But it just means that every video we send out, I've watched, I've checked, I know it's okay. I mean, I'll probably miss a few things because I'm a human. It does mean we can keep adding videos, so all the videos that Joel does going forward will then be added to the new Google Drive that they get sent. Alright? And it's also a way of us giving the people that have already been in the business for ages, it's just testing them. If you straight up ask them questions without them watching the video, like if I asked you now, Joel, let me just remember. Okay, how many points do you get when you sell 2 units in a day on the Better Way Club?
You get a point and it's times by 10, isn't it?
No.
You get a point per 2 units.
No. I would send in a video, you get 20 points. Every day that you sell
Yeah,
2
but then
units
it's
in a
times
day.
by 10, isn't it?
20 points. Don't worry, that wasn't a test, that was a test, but it's on purpose because if that's your incentive, you're trying to get your points, you really want to know that. And people who've been in the business quite a long time might not be aware of everything. And all I have to say is, do you know what? Not quite. This is a video if you want to just recap your knowledge. There's no point in recapping stuff if you already know it. I don't see the point. I don't like training people on stuff they already completely get. It's good to test them. Like if I said to you, oh, what's a price build-up?
Well, it's where you sort of building up to asking them sort of what their budget is and how much they're looking to spend.
Yeah, so you're getting an idea, you're putting that price into context. Now, I'm not going to then teach you on that if you get it. Like I'm not going to say to Julian, oh yeah, here's a training course on TVs. Absolutely not, he knows that, why would I do that? Yeah, so that's the goal with the training sheet. And if you've got anything to add to it, like the more ideas the better. Like I think I've obviously taken a lot of this on board. I don't like technology a great deal, but I do love Google Drive because I feel like it's a really good way of just being able to all see how we're doing. If I see that maybe you're selling every single day in store over Black Friday and you're like, actually Elena, can you do me a favour, would you be able to send somebody these videos whilst I'm working? Yeah, fine. Like I'm absolutely in the position to be able to do that. We're meant to work as a team. The idea is that this isn't about us beating you or you beating us, fine. If you're competing like that, great, you beat us, great. But actually the general consensus should be that we want every person to succeed in the business. We want everyone to understand who we are as a business and feel comfortable that any question they've got, we've got the answer. So no rep should be left not having a clue where to go when they've got a problem. It's a bit embarrassing saying to your boss, yeah, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know what that is. You don't say that because you want to impress your manager. So let's not set people up to feel embarrassed about things. I'd rather set people up where they can come to us if they've got a question. They know we've got all the content in the world for them to do their jobs properly. And if that person gets every part of that Google sheet, they've watched every video and they've answered every question correctly, but we're constantly following up with them after the first 2 months, there's no reason they can't be the next Jigger Perec. Or Joel, pretty good.
Reset the recording quickly, there's half-hour chunks.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so that's